Hi, hello, welcome to Vital Biology. This is Padma. In today's video, we will learn about the classification of the phylum Chordata. In the previous class, we have discussed about the fundamental features of chordates, which are the presence of notochord, the presence of dorsal nerve cord, pharyngeal gill slits, and posterior anal tail. So, such group of organisms which are included in this phylum Chordata are further divided into three of the subphyla. The first subphylum is Urochordata and the second subphylum is Cephalochordata and the third one is the Vertebrata. And here the first subphylum, that is Urochordata. So here in this Urochordata word, Uro means actually tail, whereas here chorda means notochord. So notochord is present in its tail region, that too in the larval tail. Okay, so here Urochordates, actually in the adult organism the notochord is absent. So that notochord is present only in the larval stages, and in that larva actually it contains one of a tail. So in that tail this notochord is present. So that's why we say that notochord is limited to the larval tail region in the case of these Urochordates. And these Urochordates commonly called as tunicates. Tunicates, as their body is covered by one of a test. Test means outermost covering. So these organisms possess one of the outermost covering which is called as test, and that test is made up of one of a substance called as tunicin. Okay, one of a substance, that is tunicin. So that's why as these organisms are provided by a tunicin outermost covering, so that is why these organisms are called as tunicates. Urochordates are also called as tunicates. And for these Urochordates, examples like Acidia, which is also can be considered as the headmania. Acidia or headmania. Next, Salpa, then Doliolum. Okay, so these are the examples for subphylum Urochordata. Acidia, Salpa, Doliolum. Next, going towards the one more subphylum, that is of the Cephalochordata. So as here in that name we can see Cephalochordata. Cephalo means head. So in this group of organisms, notochord is present in the adult organism, and that too it extends from head to tail region. So entire body, that is from head to tail, this notochord is extended. That is why the group is named as Cephalochordata. And for this Cephalochordata, the example is Branchiostoma. And this Branchiostoma have some other names also. This Branchiostoma has some other names, like it is also called as Amphioxus, or even Lancillets. Okay, Lancillets. Lancillet is one of a surgical equipment. As this Amphioxus is having a morphological similarity like that of a lancillet, that's why these are called as lancillets or the sea lancillets. And here both these groups, that is of subphylum Urochordata and the subphylum Cephalochordata, these two groups are the earlier chordates. These are the first formed chordates. That is why these together called as primitive chordates. Okay, these together called as primitive chordates or protochordates. Proto means nothing but earlier or primitive. That's why we can consider these two groups as primitive chordates or otherwise protochordates. Whereas the third subphylum, that is of Vertebrata. So in this group of organisms, this notochord actually present in the embryonic stages, but in the adults it develops into vertebral column, which is nothing but the backbone, which give the entire support to the organism. So that is why that notochord, as it develops into the vertebral column, that is why this group name is actually given as, that is of Vertebrata. And here you can see that this urochordates and the cephalochordates and the vertebrates, all the three are comes under the chordates. But here we cannot consider all the three group of organisms as vertebrates. All chordates are not vertebrates, but all vertebrates are chordates. So once again, all chordates are not vertebrates. So here you can see the difference. As urochordates and cephalochordates, they completely have some separate characteristic features when compared with the vertebrata. Yes, that's why definitely all chordates are not vertebrates. But these vertebrates can be considered as a chordates because this is the one of the subphylum under the chordata. So whatever the characteristic features we said about the chordates, yes, definitely they can be seen in this particular group, that is of vertebrata. So this vertebrata is further divided into two of the divisions. One is Agnatha, another one is Gnathostomata. Okay, the first division Agnatha, another one is Gnathostomata. So here Gnatha means actually jaws. So in the Agnatha, these organisms, in their mouth, the jaws are absent. Okay, when jaws are absent, such a group of organisms are called as Agnatha. That is A. Absence of gnatha means jaws. And in that, one of the class, it was mentioned, that is Cyclostomata. Cyclostomata. So cyclo means here circular, stoma means mouth. So in this group of organisms, mouth is circular. Mouth is circular. So such type of organisms, they are actually included under this class Cyclostomata, and for that two of the examples they actually mentioned in our book, that is of one Petromyzon. Even for this Petromyzon, the diagram also they have mentioned. So this is of Petromyzon, which is commonly called as lamprey. Whereas one more example is there, that is Myxin, which is commonly called as hagfish. Hagfish. Okay, so these are the two examples for class Cyclostomata, which means nothing but their mouth is actually circular. That's why Cyclostomata. Next, one more division in this vertebrata, that is of Gnathostomata. So Gnathostomata, in their mouth jaws are present. So these are jawed vertebrates. Agnatha, these are the jawless vertebrates. So now coming to these jawed vertebrates, they are further divided into two of the subclasses. The first, superclasses. So the first superclass is Pisces and another superclass is the Tetrapoda. So first superclass, that is of Pisces. Pisces means here fishes. As we know that fishes are further divided into two of the classes. One is the cartilaginous fishes, another one is the bony fishes. So cartilaginous fishes are actually called as chondrichthyes, whereas bony fishes are called as the osteichthyes. Whereas superclass tetrapods. Tetrapods means actually having of like limb structures, and that too 4 limbs. Total number is 4. 2 are forelimbs and 2 are hind limbs. So thus they are provided with the 4 limbs. That is why the term tetrapods. And in this again further we can see some of the classes like class Amphibia, in which generally we include frogs and as well as the toads. And then class Reptilia. And then class Aves, which are birds. And at the last, the class Mammalia or class Mammals. Okay, so this is the classification of phylum Chordata. So phylum Chordata is classified into 3 subphyla: Urochordata, Cephalochordata, Vertebrata. Urochordates and Cephalochordates together considered as Protochordates or earlier chordates. In Urochordates, the notochord is present just in the larval tail, and these are commonly called as tunicates as they contain tunicin substance in their outermost covering. Examples are like Acidia, Salpa, Doliolum. Whereas going towards the Cephalochordates. So Cephalochordates are actually in which the notochord is present from head to tail, and throughout their life this notochord is present. Okay, that is a very important character. Notochord is present throughout their life, that is in the cephalochordates. Whereas in the case of the vertebrates, that notochord is present in the embryonic stages, but later in its development, it got replaced with the vertebral column. And this particular group, vertebrata, further divided into two divisions, agnatha and gnathostomata, means vertebrates which are provided with the jaw and which are without jaws. So, jawless vertebrates and jawed vertebrates. So, jawless vertebrates in which one more class is present, that is the class Cyclostomata, in which the mouth is circular. And further, two of the best examples, Petromyzon, which is commonly called as lamprey, and another one is the Myxine, which is commonly called as hagfish. And going towards the Gnathostomata, so mouth is provided with the jaws. And in this group of organisms, again, two of the superclasses are there, in which the first superclass is the Pisces and another superclass is the tetrapods. Pisces means fishes, in which two of the classes are there. So, one of the class that is of the Osteichthyes and another one is the Chondrichthyes. So, Chondrichthyes means cartilaginous fishes, whereas the Osteichthyes means bony fishes. Whereas in the case of the superclass Tetrapoda, where four limbs are present in these organisms for their locomotion, and in which the class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class birds, that is of Aves, and the last one, that is of class Mammalia, are included. So, this is about the classification of phylum Chordata. And in the next classes, we will discuss more about these groups.